You've probably tried visualizing a specific job, a lottery win, or an unexpected check, and when it doesn't show up, you feel frustrated. Neville Goddard would say that's exactly why it's not showing up. You're focusing on the how, the method of delivery, instead of the end result of simply having the money. When you visualize getting a check, your subconscious mind registers the effort, the waiting, the lack. You're impressing upon yourself the state of not having it yet. Neville taught that the feeling of the wish fulfilled is the secret. If you feel like you're waiting for money, you remain in a state of waiting. Like this one error, trying to figure out the how, keeps people stuck in a cycle of effort and disappointment because they are reinforcing the very lack they want to escape. So if daytime effort often reinforces lack, where do we plant the feeling of fulfillment? Neville's answer was clear: the state akin to sleep, or SATS. This isn't full sleep, it's that drowsy receptive state right before you drift off. In his own words from Feeling is the Secret, he said the state akin to sleep is the state most favorable for the reception of ideas. This is where your critical, logical mind, the one that doubts and questions how, starts to quiet down. It's a scientific fact. This hypnagogic state provides direct access to the subconscious. Neville's most famous personal story perfectly illustrates this. He was in New York, desperate to get home to Barbados, but had no money for the passage. Instead of worrying about how it would happen, he entered SATs each night. He didn't visualize working for the fare or begging for it. He imagined the end, feeling the ship's wooden rail under his hand and hearing the sound of the water. He fell asleep in the feeling of already being on the journey home. He impressed this feeling onto his subconscious until it felt real. Shortly after, his brother in Barbados sent him the exact funds needed, an event that seemed impossible from his prior circumstances. This is why SATS is more powerful than any daytime technique. Affirmations can feel like a struggle against doubt. Visualization while fully awake can be met with logic. But in SATS, you bypass all that. You are engraving the feeling of the wish fulfilled directly onto the subconscious mind, which then works to make it a reality in your outer world. The act is finished in your imagination. As Neville often said, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and fall asleep in that assumption. Your only job is to successfully feel the reality of your desire in that drowsy state. The how is not your concern. It's the job of the subconscious to figure out the means. Your power lies in your ability to convincingly feel that it is already done. Now that you understand why SATS is the vehicle, we need to load it with the right destination. This is where most people go wrong, so pay close attention. The golden rule for crafting your scene is this: it must imply, beyond any shadow of a doubt, that the money is already yours. The scene is not about receiving the money. It's about the natural consequence of already having it. You are not waiting for a check. You are holding the check. You are not hoping to pay off a debt. You are looking at the statement that shows a zero balance. Let's break this down with a clear bad example versus a powerful one. A bad scene would be visualizing your boss handing you a raise letter. This is a how. It focuses on the method of delivery. Your mind is still in a state of anticipation. A powerful scene, as Neville taught, is one that occurs after the desire is fulfilled. Instead of getting the raise, you are telling a close friend about your new financial freedom, feeling the relief and excitement in your voice. Or you are holding your credit card statement and running your finger down to the balance, seeing a zero and feeling that profound wave of relief wash over you. The event is over, the money is already there. Another incredibly effective scene is one that involves a simple, sensory-rich action that would be impossible without the money. Imagine you're in a store, picking up an item you've wanted for a long time. A specific book, a piece of clothing, a tech gadget. The powerful part of the scene is you walking to the checkout and not even glancing at the price tag. You're simply buying it. The feeling isn't one of extravagance or spending, it's the feeling of normalcy. This is what I do now. This is how I live. The money is such a non-issue that the price is irrelevant. This embodies the state of financial freedom far more than a specific dollar amount. You could also use a modern equivalent, looking at your banking app on your phone. The scene isn't about a notification saying a deposit is pending. That's still the how. The scene is you opening the app, your eyes going directly to the balance and seeing a specific, meaningful number. You feel the quiet satisfaction. You might even tap the screen to refresh it, and the number stays the same. It's real. It's yours. The key is to keep the scene short, simple, and loopable. It should be a brief moment, no more than 5 to 10 seconds, in real time that you can repeat easily. The power comes from the sensory richness and the emotional feeling you generate. What do you see? What do you feel with your hands? What do you hear? Most importantly, what is the dominant emotion? Is it relief, security, joyful freedom? Loop this short scene to build that sensory vividness until the feeling of reality washes over you. So how do you actually do this? The practical method is straightforward, but it requires discipline. You do this as you're going to bed. Lie down in a comfortable position and begin to relax your body. Let the tensions of the day fade away. Your goal is to reach that drowsy, receptive state akin to sleep. Your body should feel heavy and your mind should be growing quiet. If you find your mind racing with thoughts of the day, don't fight it. Just gently bring your focus back to your breathing and the feeling of relaxation. You're not forcing sleep, you're inviting a state of deep receptivity. Once you feel yourself drifting into that drowsy state, that's your cue. Now gently bring your predetermined scene to mind. Don't force it vividly at first. Just begin to play it out in your imagination. See yourself in that moment after the wish is fulfilled. Feel the texture of the credit card statement in your hands. Hear the sound of you telling your friend the good news. See the number on your phone screen. Now loop it. Play the same short scene over and over. With each loop, try to add more sensory detail. Make the colors brighter, the sounds clearer, the feelings more intense. The repetition is what does the work. It's like a gentle hammer impressing this new assumption onto your subconscious. Here is the most critical part of the entire process. The moment the scene starts to feel real, the moment the imaginal act takes on the tones of reality, that is when you stop. You stop the looping and you simply fall asleep in that feeling. Neville was explicit about this. You do not continue until you pass out from exhaustion. The feeling of reality is your signal that the work is done for the night. As he said in one of his lectures, when you get the feeling of reality, the work is done. Falling asleep while basking in that feeling seals it into your subconscious. You are literally falling asleep in the assumption of the wish fulfilled. What do you do the next day? This is where people often fall back into the old trap. Your job the next day is to maintain the feeling, not the effort. You have impressed the subconscious. The act is finished in your imagination. Neville taught that you must persist in the assumption that it is done. This doesn't mean walking around all day trying to forcefully feel happy. It means that when thoughts of lack or how come up, you gently remind yourself, it is done. You refuse to engage with the how. You live from the state of the wish fulfilled. If you find yourself worrying about how the money will come, you've stepped out of the state. The feeling you cultivated in SATs is your anchor. Return to it mentally throughout the day, not with effort, but with the naturalness of someone who knows a fact to be true. Avoid the trap of constantly checking your bank account or looking for signs. That is the language of doubt. Your only task is to remain faithful to the state you embodied in your imagination. The outer world must and will conform, so the power isn't in figuring it out. It's in feeling the wish fulfilled. Your only task is to impress the subconscious with the feeling of already having your desire. The world will orchestrate the how. For a deeper dive into living in the end, watch this next video on persisting in your assumption.